Hey folks, I'm Dave. I appreciate you stopping by and I hope everybody's well today. So my wife bought this plain looking paper towel holder and she asked if I could do something with the laser to make it not look so plain. So I made this. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to start by grabbing a circle, hold down the shift key and just drag out a circle and drop it. Click your selector tool and with it selected, go up top and make sure your lock is on. We're going to make this 230 millimeters, and that's about 9 inches, which with a large roll of paper towels, it leaves some overhang. And remember, you can scroll in and out with your mouse wheel. You can push down and move the entire canvas around. So you want to select your circle, go to the offset tool, and we're going to offset inward, around, and 25 millimeters. That gives about an inch, which is plenty of space to set the that little panel with Nana's Kitchen on it. So you want to select the inner circle and go down to the bottom and turn it into a tool. And you can use either T1 or T2. And when you do that, it doesn't have any output, so you don't have to worry about it making a mark. But if the tool was larger than your project, it would frame. It would include in the frame unless you have it turned off right here. So remember that. It'll save you some headaches. So now we want to put the little cutout in the center. So we're just going to grab a square and drag out a rectangle. Leave it kind of large to start with because we want to radius off the corners. And if it's too small, it won't do it. So go to your Shape Properties tab with it selected and just radius it off. I'm going to put it to 14. Now, if you don't have that tab, go up to Window, down to Shape Properties, and make sure it's selected. So then you can select your slot and make sure your lock is off up top. We're going to make the width 5 and the height 50. Then you can select it and go ahead and make it a cut, and then shift and select your circle and then hit the bullseye, and you're there. So then you can just go ahead and group these two together, select them both and group up top, and don't group your tool in with it. Then we want to put a slot down here on the bottom. So just grab another square and just drag out a rectangle. Click the selector tool, and with your lock off, we want to make the width 30 and the height 4.8. I'm using a 5 millimeter Luan hardwood, and that'll give a little adjustment for the kerf. And the kerf is not as bad with harder woods as it is with something soft like basswood. So after you do that, to make sure you get it centered, select it, push shift, select your outer circle, go up to vertical alignment and click center, and it'll just move it over a little bit. And then you can select it. Well, let's get a copy of it first because we'll use it on the bottom of our little sign. So Control D for copy, duplicate, and I'll just pull it off to the side. Then you can select them in together and just group it on in with the other two. So we're going to grab this and move it out of the way. And for the lettering, I've got a 100% free font that I downloaded from defont.com called Arco Typography, and it works really well for that, and I'll leave a link down in the description. So let's grab the text tool, and we're just going to type out Nana's Kitchen, all caps. It's getting late. I guess I can't spell today. Okay, so now you can select those and right click and convert it to a path. And when you do that, they're no longer, it's not really text anymore, it's objects. And you can move these around wherever you like. So I'm going to Control Z and put it back to where it needs to be. These cutouts in the A's and of course in R's and D's and other letters, they're not locked in. So if you grab one of these and move it, part of your letter is going to stay there. So when you do this, you want to be sure to select them both and then group those together so you don't end up losing part of your letter at some point. I usually don't find out till I get to the end of the project and I see something is awry. Okay, so now we can, you could either make these letters touch each other a little bit and weld them together, or we can put a piece underneath them. And I think that's what we will do. So we're going to move that down a little bit. We're going to grab a square and just drag out a rectangle. And again, this time leave it a little larger so we can radius off a little bit. And then go to your Shape Properties tab and click up, and I'll just take this to about 10, maybe. It won't go to 10 unless I stretch it out a little more. Stretch it out a little more and then it'll go to 10. Maybe. There we go. It's jumping in groups of 5 for some reason. I don't know. That's the first time I've seen that happen. That's all right. Don't fret. It works fine. All right. So then you can select it and close it up a little bit. And we want to make sure it is, we can tie all those in there. So that's what we're going to do. We'll leave it large enough to do that. And we're just going to snap this up and then we're going to pull it over in a little bit. As long as it closes in and touches all of those letters, you're fine. And then we need to get this apostrophe moved over. We'll just move the S and the apostrophe at the same time. And as long as that apostrophe touches one of those letters, we'll be okay. Okay, that works. Now, you can select all of these together. I think this is a little bit long. That looks better. Select them all together and then just weld them. Now we can pull these up and we're just going to let them touch a little bit. And we're still going to put a piece on the bottom of kitchen. We just want that to touch a little bit. Laser work is a lot of trial and error, folks. So you just got to have fun with it. And I do as often as possible. Okay, now we'll reselect everything and click weld again. And that looks pretty good. So now we will drag us another one out on the bottom. Make it big. We'll go to our Shape Properties tab and round it off a little bit. There's 10. And don't forget to hit the selector tool or you will just draw stuff all over your page. All right, so we'll close this up a little bit. Get it to there. And you could line up now. You can select your bottom piece. You could shift and select everything else and then go to the alignment tools. But you got to make sure everything's tied together or it won't center properly. But that looks pretty good. So we'll just select everything and go to the weld. All right, so everything still looks like letters, which is a good thing. I've done some of these and get to the end and it just looks like something you couldn't hardly read. So now we need to put this tab on the bottom. And it is 4.8 by 30, but we actually need this one to be 5 to take care of the full 5 millimeters of the plywood. And the best way to do this that I have found is snap it to the bottom. And if you can just get right on the edge, you can see the cursor change. You can click there and then snap it to the next item that you're trying to connect to. And then shift, select your item, and then you can do your alignment. the vertical alignment. And to make sure that this gets a good connection when you weld, select it and then grab the top and pull up into it a little bit. As long as it breaks the plane, you're good. And then you can select everything, weld it, and I believe that is it. Let's see how tall this is. Forgive me, folks, I'm going to hit the inches button and see. And I think we want to make it a little taller. That's where it needs to be. And which also means I need to resize that that tab. I say it all the time, folks. I make a lot of mistakes. So I'm going to Control Z until I get back to where that tab was. And feel free to fast forward if you need to. I've spent a long day, and I wanted to get out here and do this, but I had so many other things to do. I'm not complaining. I am in the shop, and I'm doing stuff, and I'm spending time with you folks, so I'm good. All right, so I'm going to resize that, and that is about 6 inches, a little over 6 inches wide, and a little over 2 inches high. All right, so I'm going back to the tab now. I'm going to get back on the edge. I'm going to snap it. I'm going to center it and then do the same thing we've done before. Align it, and then I'm going to select it, pull it up inside a little bit, and then we will weld it in. And now we are ready, folks, to jump into laser, cut this out, and see if it's going to turn out. But you know it is, because you did see the picture. This already happened. So, okay, folks, I will be right back. Okay, folks, I believe we're all framed up and ready to go. We'll stand the code over, cut this out, see what it looks like. Okay, folks, let me put this together and we'll take a look at it. Okay, folks, well, here's our final piece. I think it turned out pretty good. I put a couple of pieces of scrap on the bottom to level it out. It was rocking a little bit, and that took care of it. And then I made this little lock and glued it in just so it would not wobble off at some point. And I'll drop a link to this Arco typography font down in the description, and you can check that out and pick it up and grab some more while you're out there on defont.com. And this 5mm Luan plywood is a really good project wood. I think you'll enjoy using it. I picked it up at a big box store, but it's local, and I'll drop a link to that down in the description. You can go get you some if you want it. So if you give this a try and you have any questions, just let me know, and I'll be glad to answer them. If you got questions about anything I got posted, or any general laser or Lightburn questions, I'll be glad to try to answer those. I really appreciate the viewer questions and comments. They not only help me as a newbie, but they help everyone that comes across them, so I really appreciate it. So I hope this was helpful. If it was, please like and subscribe. It not only helps the channel grow, but it'll help me to be able to keep doing this and bring you more and better content in the future. So just check back often for new videos. You folks take care, and we'll see y'all next time. Thank you.